it's definitely gotta be one of my favorite samples for this month. So shout out Charlie Danso for the guitar starter. So this was the first part of the sample. So that was hard, like, bro making me low-key want to get a guitar now, I ain't gonna lie. Alright, so the first thing I added was this bass guitar, the Rickenbacker bass. I used this Night Session preset. So all I wanted to do for this pattern was just find a rhythm to go with that first guitar, so you can kind of get like a bounce that you want to go for your sample. And then all I did was just randomize these velocities so it sounded more realistic. And I stacked some of the notes to kind of complement the bass notes, so I wanted very open chords. So the next thing I added was this Tack Rhodes piano from Keyscape. So in this part, I wanted to kind of fill in the space in between the guitars, so that's why you see a lot of these chords, they're like close together. These are closed chords, so it's gonna be like a lot closer together, not really like spread open. Pause, bro. But as you can see, in a lot of these chords, I like strummed them out. It was more realistic. And then I would add these little accent notes at the top of the second section right here. Then again, just to make it more realistic, you can just hit Alt-R and you can randomize the velocities. The next thing I added was another piano from Keyscape, the Electric Rhodes. So I just added this little simple pattern. I just wanted something to accent the piano and the guitar. So the sample still felt pretty empty, so I opened up small string gestures and I added these chords just to fill in all the empty space. So as you can see, I was really just copying some of the chords from the first sound that I used, so I just wanted to layer the sound so everything sounded wider. Like I said, I already put y'all on, bro. Sound paint strings, my second favorite part of the sample. So then I found this little perk loop just to add some more rhythms to the sample. Pretty simple. So then throughout the rest of the sample, I was using this synth. I think I showed this in my last video, the OBX. So it's like an emulation of the OBX8. So I just copied the chords from the other sounds just so I could fill in some more space. So then I used another one of the OBX sounds, and it was this little weird lead. So by itself, it sounds kind of weird, but once you have it like with context to the sample, it's like a little ear candy in the background. Hey, y'all see me using this a lot? This means that this is hard, bro. This is fire. So I found another little synth pad that was like more of like an ear candy in the background. So again, it sounds kind of weird by itself, but with context, like the full sample, it sounds fire. So then again, I used one more of the OBX. This was the last sound I added. I wanted a little lead at the end of the sample just for some extra variation. I'm gonna go over the effects that I used. So for the pianos and the keys and stuff, I used this Real ADT plugin. It's like very speed, like a chorus and a flanger. So I just put that on the key, so it has like a cool wobble to it. This little compressor just to make it more vintage and it's like a wider sound. A Skep 73 does the same thing that the compressor kind of does, makes it wider. A little EQ just to take out the lows so it had room for the bass, and then I added some highs so it could fill in the space that wasn't there. Same with the mids. And then a tilt shift. I don't even remember what this does. I just put it on samples and it sounds good, so I just leave it like this. So I added pretty much the same thing for the violin, but the only thing I use different is this plugin called Panda Room. You can pick from one of these little presets and it changes the sound to as if I was playing this violin in my room. So it's a pretty cool VST I like to use on a lot of these sounds. So then for that lead that you guys heard, I added this Mooger Fooger pedal, and it's these delay throws. After the sound plays, it's like multiple little delays that fade out. And if you already have FL24, I added the spreader plugin, so that lead, you can just turn up this knob right here and it's gonna make it wider so it takes up more room. And then I just added a little pan man, so it's just going left and right in your headphones. And that's the full sample. I'm gonna just play from the beginning to the end so y'all can just hear like the entire thing. That's the full sample. When y'all went crazy on the last video, 1K views in 2 days, you know what I'm saying? The algorithm finally doing me a little justice. Appreciate y'all for that, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video.